We've got the Nissan Pathfinder.
This is Rock Creek edition. Did you hear that smooth?
See, a V6.
It's becoming rare in this class of SUV.
Yep.
So we kind of teased it a wee bit. What's under the hood of this thing?
A 3.5 liter V6 with a 9-speed automatic transmission, 284 horsepower and 259 pound-feet of torque. We have the Rock Creek model, and it gets a power boost if you use premium fuel. An extra 11 horsepower and 11 pound-feet of torque. In Canada, standard 4-wheel drive. In the US, both 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive options are available.
Okay, Andrea, are you going to spend for the premium fuel to get 11 more horsepower?
Absolutely not. Premium fuel is expensive. I am going with regular fuel all the way. It's got enough power.
That warms my Scottish heart, Andrea. Yes. All right, let's get into the key standard features. What do you get with this Pathfinder?
The Pathfinder comes with an 8-inch touchscreen, a 7-inch driver display, wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 6-speaker audio system, cloth upholstery, heated front seats, a power driver seat with lumbar support, manual passenger seat, heated steering wheel, and Nissan Safety Shield 360. In the US, heated front seats and a heated steering wheel are not standard.
Got all these terrain settings, Andrea. What are we going to put it in?
Gotta put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure you like and subscribe, and also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea. Very important. You'll find out halfway through why you need to subscribe to get questions in. And for me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button.
By the way, Zach, there's 7 drive and terrain modes.
Well, now I know. I've just been schooled. No, there's 8. One's called subscribe.
Yes, of course.
All right, so
I've been schooled.
Yeah, we drove this at the launch. It feels like a year and a half ago or so.
Yeah.
And we liked the packaging. I certainly like the design. With this Rock Creek model, I love the color. But what we found was 2 main things. A bit firm in the suspension department, and the transmission, she was lazy.
Yeah.
And so has all of that been sorted?
Well, I was hoping it was all sorted. I think that the transmission is slightly better than when we drove it a few years ago, especially in sport mode. You'll find when you are driving in the city or you get up to highway speed, it's not a problem. It's when you accelerate quickly that there is a slight lag with the transmission. I would like to see it quicker because the V6 is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't want to have it in sport mode all the time because that's when you're going to use more fuel. I like a responsive transmission, and that's something they can work that out with programming. Okay, the firm suspension, that's still a thing.
Yeah, it definitely has a truck-like feel. If you like that, you're really going to enjoy how this handles. The steering isn't too heavy. It actually feels quite nice. And the maneuverability, the turning radius of this Pathfinder is terrific for such a large vehicle.
Okay, so we've got the Rock Creek with all-terrain tires on it. The tires are designed to do specific things like doing gravel roads and snow and doing off-road duty. But like, put on the brakes now. Put on the brakes now. I'm not sure if you can hear that. It's got a bit of tire whine from the all-terrain tires, which is something you really can't get around. So if you're thinking of getting a Pathfinder, drive one with these all-terrain tires and one without, and see which one you like.
They're 18-inch all-terrain tires, and frankly, they're loud, especially on the highway. So unless you are using it for mud and dirt and cottage trails and some light off-roading, I think I would choose another Pathfinder model. Even though I love the look of this, it does have an off-road tuned suspension.
And it's got a long list of available trims, so you don't have to get this one.
And how about the roof rack too? I mean, you've got a big bold roof rack.
I can't see the roof rack because there's no sunroof. But the thing is, I kind of question the tubular roof rack that's hard mounted to this. I think it looks really cool, but you're carrying around extra weight. and you're increasing the wind resistance, it's just going to affect fuel economy.
For sure.
So you got to crunch the numbers on that.
I also think a lighter headliner in this, being a 3-row SUV, would be nice. It would kind of lighten things up in here a little bit, or even if they added a moonroof for this particular model, but a light headliner, yes.
Okay, now we're at kind of highway speeds.
Yeah, you can hear it.
I can hear. I'm not sure if these. Now all I hear is
See
engine.
the transmission?
All right, that's all right. There's more tire whine for sure.
When we drove the Pathfinder for the first time a few years ago, I loved the look of this thing. It's rugged, it's bold, it's boxy. I think that Nissan did a wonderful job with the exterior of this model. And this Rock Creek, you've got the Rock Creek badging, and it actually has a unique grille to it and front and rear bumpers.
And the wheels are a bit busy for my taste. I know they're trying to do this off-road look, but they just look like they're going to be more work for me to clean every weekend.
Yeah,
which is one of my jobs.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think I would love to be able to have some of this look without those wheels and without the roof rack. I think the color is really what's making this as well. So yes, it's been out, you've seen it on the road, nothing too much to report there. What standard features does it get on the outside?
So the Pathfinder gets 7.1 inches of ground clearance, and this Rock Creek model gets 0.6 inches extra, so it brings it up to 7.7 inches of ground clearance. Pathfinder comes standard with LED headlights, LED tail lights. You get 18-inch wheels available, 20-inch, and a temporary spare tire.
Andrea, I just want to let you know we are in the Rock Creek. If you forget what car you're driving, you just look down on the armrest here, it says Rock Creek.
Yeah.
Not loving all this script here in the center. It's also on the back of the seats. I kind of get it. I like a slight little stitching on the headrest, maybe. This, hey Andrea, we're in the Rock Creek. Do you like this?
Or maybe a small logo or something. This is too much at the center console. I guess they want you to know. You are in Rock Creek.
Wait a second. Well, we're still in the Rock Creek.
Yes, and it's got some unique features in here, especially the seats, and you've got some orange stitching throughout the vehicle as well. I got to tell you, these seats are comfortable. You want to go on a long drive in the Pathfinder? You got it here. It is very comfortable.
And I like the contrast of cloth, which is warm in the winter, cool in the summer, a little bit of leather or pleather on the sides, but the door caps, the dash pad, even the transmission tunnel has all soft vinyl and stitching. I think they did a nice job with that, but there's still a nice complement. I'm being ironic, of piano black, mostly on the center console, around the radio and around the instrument cluster. They can't help themselves.
I really like the seating position in here. You're up and over the dash. There is plenty of storage. The center console storage unit is deep, and of course the door pockets are also quite large. Now this is a 3-row SUV, so what is the passenger configuration of this model?
Are you able to get a bench seat on all trims, Andrea? I'm guessing no.
No, so in Canada, all trims get a bench seat except for the top trim. Only captain's chairs are offered, so that's a 7-passenger vehicle. In the US, the base model has a bench seat. Rock Creek gets captain's chairs, and then all other models get the option of a bench seat or captain's chairs.
So Rock Creek, even though it's fancy looking, is kind of a middle trim. What trims are available? Yeah,
the thing about the Rock Creek is that it's missing some features, like even a power passenger seat. It doesn't have it.
Sunroof.
There's no sunroof. So it doesn't have all those up-to-date features that you may want. The SV model, one up from the base model, gets you a panoramic sunroof and a motion-activated tailgate. Those are two important features, I think, in a 3-row SUV. The SL model adds a power passenger seat and a wireless charger. SL Premium has driver's seat memory, heated second row seats, the Bose sound system, a 9-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, and a head-up display. The Platinum model is where you get leather seats with quilting, ventilated front seats, a 12.3-inch digital driver display, and ambient lighting.
In the United States, if you want heated front seats, you have to get the SV model. Also, there's an available panoramic sunroof. The SL model has leather-appointed seats and a 9-inch touchscreen. wireless charger, and wireless Apple CarPlay. The top Platinum model adds features like a head-up display, the Bose sound system, a power passenger seat, driver's seat memory, a heated steering wheel, and ventilated front row seats and heated rear seats. Here's me getting in the second row of this Pathfinder. As Andrea mentioned, all of them except the top trim come with a bench seat. I kind of like that. Of course, they slide fore and aft. There's good legroom, good headroom. How does it stack up?
Comparing the Pathfinder to the Kia Telluride, the Pathfinder offers almost 3 inches more front row legroom. Second row legroom at 35.5 inches is not huge, with the Telluride offering almost 7 inches more space.
And then you slide the second row forward and climb on into the third row. This isn't the biggest in this class. More on that in Questions, Coffee, and Cars. How does it stack up?
Third row legroom in the Pathfinder is 3 inches less than the Telluride.
Lifting up the liftgate, this is power operated on this model, and space behind the third row when those seats are up really isn't that big.
Space behind the second row is the same for the Pathfinder and Telluride. Cargo space behind the third row at 16.6 cubic feet, and overall cargo space at 80.5 cubic feet falls short to the Telluride.
You really want to compare this to the others, so let's get into it.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
This or the Grand Highlander from Toyota? What would you prefer?
The Grand Highlander has gone to the top of the pile.
Yeah.
It's got 3 drivetrain options, and maybe a 4th is coming as a plug-in. We see that on the Lexus side. So you've got Turbo 4, which is very good. You've got the very efficient hybrid system that Toyota is known for. Then they have their Hybrid Max system, which gives you way more power. It's a big vehicle. It's top of the list for me now.
Yeah, it is bigger than this. You're going to get more third row legroom. Space behind the third row is very good in the Highlander. But if you don't want something as big, this is a good option. The Grand Highlander also has a really kind of smooth and refined drive to it. This is more,
it's a good handling vehicle.
This is more truck-like. It has a firmer suspension, and some may enjoy that. The other thing is I have an issue with the transmission on this model, not in the city, but on the highway. It can be a little bit lazy, and it takes a second for everything to click in and really get that instant acceleration. And so for me, the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max is the one.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Please
it's top of the mountain.
Please make a comparison between the Pathfinder versus the Pilot. You guys have got a lot of questions about the different competitors that are offered. This is a highly competitive category.
Well, the Pilot, the thing is that you'll see a trend in this industry, I should say, for a class of vehicle. So all of the mid-size utilities have been updated. Volkswagen even did the Atlas with a new interior, new engine. We're seeing that. So all of these have been refreshed over the last couple of years, and Pilot is very compelling. It, like this, still has a 3.5 liter 6-cylinder, still has a conventional automatic transmission. It's gotten bigger, and it's very well done as well.
Yeah, what I like about the Pilot for families is that the bench seat is available on all trims. So that's an 8-passenger vehicle. The center seat can be removed if you would prefer captain's chairs. It's just the Trail Sport model that only gets the captain's chairs in Canada. But Honda pricing, although I think the Pilot is fairly competitive, has gone up. You'll find that you can get this Nissan Pathfinder for a little less money. We've been looking at this and a 2023 VW Atlas. We like the size of the third rows. What are your thoughts between the two models? Well, the Atlas is another big one. It's bigger than this. You're going to get more third row space and space behind the third row and overall cargo space.
It's roughly the same size as the Grand Highlander.
Yeah.
The Atlas and the Grand Highlander are roughly the same size, but they've downsized the engine. They've gone from their trusty 3.6 liter VR6 engine to a 2 liter turbo. Think of a Volkswagen GTI engine. That's what's powering it. This is a trend through the industry.
Yeah.
So this is still a holdout with the V6. The Pilot's still a holdout with the V6. The Korean twins, the Palisade and Telluride, they're still available with the V6. Even the Chevy Traverse is going to a Turbo 4.
Yeah, and what we've noticed about Turbo 4 cylinders is that the fuel economy isn't that much better than these V6 engines that the Pathfinder has, for example. So you've really got to kind of weigh it out. Some people think, wow, I really like a V6 because everything works so well together. The power is there, the smoothness. It really is like butter. So it's really up to you and what you prefer.
Interestingly, most people think, okay, it's got 2 more cylinders, it's going to have more power. Not exactly the case. The way they calibrate the turbos, because they're turbocharged, is they offer more torque at a lower RPM. That's what you're using to get out of the pocket and away from a traffic light. However, when you utilize all that torque, boop, 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 go, go, go. Keep on drinking, loves the gas.
And I also think V6s are better for towing long term. I think if you're getting a 3-row SUV and you want to tow, I would feel more comfortable with a V6 long term for dependability.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Wish Nissan would borrow the Outlander plug-in hybrid powertrain from the Mitsubishi and plop it in here. A PHEV Pathfinder would be amazing.
So the reason why this viewer is mentioning Mitsubishi is because Nissan is part of an alliance with Nissan, Renault, and Mitsubishi. They do a lot of platform sharing. However, that wouldn't be my choice for a plug-in. It's just a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder with a plug-in electrification system. I don't think it would be up to the job for such a big vehicle.
Yeah, especially when it comes to towing as well. But what I would like to see is some sort of electrification from Nissan. Of course, they have a pure electric vehicle, the Aria, which is great, but it would be so nice to see hybrids or plug-in hybrids being offered, especially if you don't have the infrastructure in place to buy a pure electric vehicle.
Yeah, so this is just a lot bigger. Even though that Outlander is a 3-row, it's not a big 3-row.
No.
All right, let's get into, well, we're talking about fuel economy and plug-ins. The fuel economy on this one, not that good, and more in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. The base trim starts at just over $49,500 and the top Platinum model is just under $61,000. In the US, the first 4-wheel drive model starts at just under $38,000 and the top Platinum 4-wheel drive is just under $53,000.
Here's the fuel economy for this V6, 11.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 9.3 on the highway. That's 21 miles per gallon city, 27 miles per gallon highway. Most utilities in this class tow 5,000 pounds. This Pathfinder is rated to tow 6,000 pounds. The warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers or 36,000 miles. So you're thinking of buying a 3-row SUV. We've chosen 3 that still have a V6 and 1 that doesn't.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Mazda CX-90 with a 3.3-liter inline-6 turbo, 280 horsepower, and a starting price just over $48,000.
The Kia Telluride with a 3.8-liter V6, 291 horsepower, and a starting price of just under $53,000.
The Honda Pilot with a 3.5-liter V6, 285 horsepower, and a starting price just under $53,000.
The Toyota Highlander with a 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder, 264 horsepower, and a starting price of $48,500.
So there are 4 3-row SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like, 2 things we'd like to see improved.
I love the exterior design.
The packaging on the inside is very well done.
You know what I'd like to see on this Rock Creek model is at least a manual height adjustment because I feel like I'm sitting quite low.
And do yourself a favor, if you're gonna try this, make sure you try it with and without these all-terrain tires.
What a great design, and it's actually a pretty affordable 3-row option.
A bit bumpy, not everyone's taste, but well done.